We're here.
Yippee!
We're alive. Hello everybody. Welcome back. The breakdown. We survived to week 2. We didn't implode yet. It came close. Not gonna lie. A little bit of a yelling that had to occur this morning. But believe it or not, I've actually gone above and beyond here. I've been able to find some of the people who are actually listed in that intro to be on this week. We of course have Geo, the lovely, the ever.
Hello.
I just love that look. Dex, just being Dex.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
And then we have Fletch sporting the backup frames. Looking
I
snazzy.
listen, they're a little bit more uncomfortable than my main frames, but I do love the clear frames. I love the way they look.
Hey, listen, can't argue against them. They do look clean. But with that being said, we got to start breaking things down. That's the whole reason we're here. So we can just get right into it, believe it or not. Starting with how the matches have been last week. Because obviously, there's been some stream matches. There's been a lot of things happening off stream as well. Because there's like a billion matches. I don't even know how many matches have to happen each week. Somebody should actually run the numbers on that at some point. But there's a lot of games happening. And the first talking point I have here, and I want to open this up to anybody. We all thought Hazard was going to be end-all be-all. We thought he was the guy. He might not be the guy.
I mean, we saw a lot of things, on all levels from the diamond tiers up to OWCS, where I genuinely believed that Hazard was, King Hazard. That's what I had been calling him for a long time, and it was so strange to see, not even just Hazard not be played, but we were seeing Torbjorn, we were seeing Symmetra. It's I don't know what to feel, because I think it's funny, but I don't know if it's particularly enjoyable for me to watch. But it is certainly new.
I love it. I feel like I looked away for a moment and then I looked back and it was Torb Sim. And I'm like, wait, what happened here? I was gone for 1 minute and we're playing Torb Sim. It was mad. You're seeing much less Hazard. I mean, the bans obviously help, right? With the option of being able to ban what's meta. Does what's meta matter as much? I don't know. I mean, with those bans there, it certainly changes things up.
Yeah, and I mean, Tor being something coming into the fold here is a really weird thing to really talk about, because it's always been a little bit of a niche pick where you don't see Torb unless you have a Tracer or a Sombra that's just harassing your backline. But I mean, I've heard a lot of people say right now is that the fact that they've been able to figure out how to shut down the Hazard is that the meta is kind of wide open and no one necessarily knows what to do about it. And I think that's actually making a lot of these games, whether it be in OWCS or here in CGL, a little bit more interesting, because you're trying to see teams learn on the fly, which is really, really fun to see.
Yeah, I mean, hero bans, I'm going to be, honest. My personal opinion is I didn't think it was going to change a lot. I think it was in my mind, I was like, okay, you're going to be able to ban whatever meta is for a single map, and then we're just going to go back to meta, right? There's going to be one fun map per series, and then it's back to whatever has been happening, because we've been stuck in a lot of stagnant metas, right? We just went back to back with Malga, Orisa. There's maybe Ram in there for a week, things like that. But it has been just very refreshing, because Fletch was saying, from Diamond to GM to OWCS, everywhere in between, across all the regions, everybody's playing a bunch of different stuff, right? I don't think there's any super bad pick that's coming through, unless we're talking Life Weaver, but that's another discussion.
I'm just sitting here wondering what was the straw, right? Somebody pulled something out and something collapsed, and there was just a Torbjorn sitting in the box, and I'm like, what happened, right? Because there hasn't been a major patch note since January 21st, right? There's been some bug fixes and stuff like that. I just went through the patch notes. We haven't gotten our mid-season patch just yet.
We definitely did.
Happened?
We definitely did. We're going to a whole new season soon.
Yeah, it was the 6v6 pat when they added plastic back in. January 21st was, but
yeah.
Okay, you'll have to excuse me for that one.
But regardless, there were still no changes to Torb or Sim. Hazard did get a little bit of a nerf during that patch. Um, but still, I think my point still stands. I'm like, I am so curious what happened. What was the Jenga piece that knocked down the tower? That we're playing, Winston with Torbjorn in Symmetra right now, because that is so unbelievably baffling to me.
So fun
As
fact.
far as
Oh,
as
go
far as I
ahead.
understand it, it's purely because Torp's so hard to dive, and with the overload means it can survive the burst damage of Hazard, as well as like the hammer damage. I didn't actually know affects how much they heal the turret, so you can actually heal turret much easier with the damage increase on the hammer, which I didn't know about. And then Sim, of course, if Hazard's blocking, get the beam up. So there's theory behind it, but on the in just looking at it, it's just wrong, right? It's like the wrong ingredients for the wrong recipe. It just feels wrong.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, Sim level 3 beam is incredibly scary to run into, even with the damage reduction. Hazard still has to be very cautious of it. And then, I mean, if you're worried about it, or if you're concerned the Hazard will be able to live it, Sim has TP to get you out. Like, we're going back to kind of TP strats again, where it's not as strong as it was before, but still, you don't want to be the Hazard going into a Torb Symmetra. Granted, I will say this: the first day of that happening, I feel like we gaslit a certain team in OWCS, and it ended up working out. But like you've seen Sim kind of fall off a little bit now, and Torb kind of be that mainstay for when teams are really running Hazard. But still, you see Sim getting banned out because they don't want to have to deal with two of them, even though for the most part you're not going to be dealing with the Sim a lot.
Yeah, and talking about how we sort of ended up at this meta, because it, like you said, it kind of came out of nowhere from the Hazard to this. As soon as I saw the Torb Sim, I immediately, went to some of my connections, went to talk to people because I was like, what the hell happened here? I personally was curious, and the general consensus apparently from like high elo top down was that there was about a 4 to 5 day period in scrims where ball comps were beating Hazard. And so the ball was working out really well. And then the Torb arose to absolutely dunk on the ball comps because people were just trying to play hard dive. And Torbjorn, like you said, little micro buffs here and there, people kind of forgot about. And just somebody ran Torb on a whim. All of a sudden, they're like, oh, wait, Torb is really good right now. Especially if there was counter dive options. So to get from there to here, obviously, like I said, it was very quick turnaround, but when you have hero bans in place, I guess that allows for quick turnaround, right? We haven't seen a meta move this quick in Overwatch in quite some time, so it is very refreshing.
Yeah. I mean, that was what everyone was really excited about with the hero bans, was the fact that we weren't going to be seeing the same thing over and over again. Yeah, you might, ban out a character just to save a character, basically. We're seeing that a lot in CGL, in OWCS, and in some of the other leagues as well, where, like we're seeing a Lifeweaver ban so that they can keep potentially the Kiri or the Juno out there, or a Lucio. It's just very interesting to see that kind of come in now. And for the most part, I feel like everyone's been really positive about it, which was one thing a lot of people were saying when it was kind of thrown out there as an idea. Like, no one's going to get behind this. No one's going to want to have hero bans in, but it's been a great thing, I think.
Yeah, and in EU we now have finally a diamond tier. Didn't happen last season. Now we have it. So we're going to see a little bit of diamond teams, and thinking about how it affects them. There's so much more likely to be like a one-trick team in diamond, where like I think there are a dime a dozen these days, but like a ball one-trick team. Like, oh god, I'm so sorry. That's not going to go well. There's bans now. I'm afraid you'll need to change hero, at least for a map. So
Yeah.
that is gonna like change things in the diamond tier, where like you're gonna get like one trick teams, and obviously like diamond will be slower to catch up to meta. So as far as I know, there's still Hazard being played and stuff down there. I know Crumble just rang for a team in diamond, and he came back to the couch potato saying, "Oh, we need to play Hazard." And since I'm the only Hazard player, it looks like I'll be back on tank. So thank you, Crumble, for that. But I'm yeah, kind of a tangent, but yes, I'm excited to see the diamond tier back in EU, and I want to see some low tier games. I want to get some Cass in on the diamond tier.
Listen,
We were supposed to get our first Diamond Tier streamed game, but some unfortunate circumstances led that game to be put out to pasture. I was upset. I really wanted it. I
Rest in
really wanted to do it, but Schmeep.
I love how you mentioned this. Like, I had no idea that nothing had happened with a game like that, and so you're just like, yeah, basically somebody just kind of got godfathered in the background. Just had to be taken out back real quick. But hey, it happens to the best of us here.
Something about fishes. I
Yeah,
don't know.
sleeping with them. Hey, listen, I'm Italian.
Fishes,
Gabagool.
rivers.
Cinder
with
blocks
the
on your
horse
feet.
head in the bed, the whole thing.
Oh, the horse head in the bed. Oh, we're getting
Definitely a
into
wood
it.
chipper somewhere here or there.
It's not painted red.
Oh no, of course not. You can't just paint it. It has to be real.
Yeah.
But with this little talk of one tricks here, I guess something else I want to field and just sort of talk about with you guys is with hero bans coming to existence, with how we've already seen the meta starting to develop very fast and shift very quickly between compositions. You know, even in lower elos, are one trick teams going to be possible at all, or is it truly going to have to be a thing of the past? Right? Are you going to have to actually be a flexible team in order to be the best of the best at any level?
I mean, they already are have for a long time have been being punished, right? Because you'll see some one trick teams in the lower tiers. They get really really good at their niche, and it's a little bit more possible down in the lower tiers. I think that is the place where they'll get punished the most for being one trick players. But in the upper tiers, it's always kind of felt like the best of the best were always the flexible teams
Mhm.
that are ready to drop a comp on a dime if something better shows up. Because I heard something once years ago. I don't remember who told it to me, but if you have two comps, one is meta and one is not meta, it's a very real possibility that the meta comp is 1% better than the non-meta composition. And that 1% is a back-breaking difference, because if in a vacuum you run that comp that's 1% better going up against a comp that's that 1% worse, if both teams, all else equal, the team with the meta composition is going to win. So if something like this, where the meta swap is happening on the drop of a dime, right? You have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to be flexible. And so, I mean, there have been some instances of one trick teams getting pretty far in the upper ranks. I think we're just going to see their results kind of fall back and slow down a little bit. But as for the upper tier teams, like the highest of the high teams, I don't think that the bans are going to hurt them all that much.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the lower teams, purely because lower tier players going to have less flexibility.
Mhm.
Like they're going to have like less of an arsenal to fall back on when like their first line of defense falls. Um, uh, Remind me, the ban system, is it like OWCS where it's like one map you ban one hero, the next map you can't ban that hero again? Is that how it
Yes.
works?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so it's not as awful as it could be. I know Face It has had some issues where they've had different ban systems where you just get wiped if it's a one trick team. But like if you're like, let's say you're junk one trick, right, and you start on Lijiang, they ban junk, which means you can't use that on control center. You lose control center because you were forced onto echo or something. Like there's also the mentality of that, like you start on the back foot, and even if they can't ban junk for the rest of it, you're still on the back foot, and for like a player at that level, it might be harder for them to bounce back, I think.
Yeah, like I could see that, but at the same time, like you talk about having players be flexible, but even in CGL and OWCS, there's subs coming in here, so you could still be a one-trick team and make those subs. The bans come in before subs do, so you know what you're going to go with here. So if, like, we have a ball one trick and you have its second tank on your team, it shouldn't really affect you that much. Even if they're one tricking something else, you now rotate to that one trick. But having the biggest problem is going to be where you have a team of just 5 players, where they are all want to do something. If you ban one thing, the entire team's going to slowly start to fall apart. I think that's going to be the big thing here, lower levels and the higher levels. Like we have I mean, Nightmare Rotations, I think back in CGL again, they are famously known as a one trick team, but that's out like, but they have other players that can come in. Like Dirt's always going to try to go towards the Roadhog, but we've seen them play Sigma. You have Matt Murray there playing other tanks as well. So if you're going to try to, ban out the one tricks, having a little bit of depth kind of gets rid of that problem necessarily, and just having a flexible team as well. Like if the biggest problem is going to be with this is going to be where you have no subs and you're making your grave pretty early there on. If they ban you out pretty early on, it shouldn't be no, like if they ban out the tanks one trick first, it shouldn't be a problem. But if they save it for like a map 3, map 4, map 5, if we get that far, then you're running into that problem a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bands have certainly created like a more of like know thine enemy, teams that pay a little bit more attention to the other games that are happening in CGL, the teams that can have that time to do a little bit of research, they're going to really benefit. If you notice someone plays a specific hero on specific map types, like if it's like a kind of spam comp, you don't notice that they'll bring out Hanzo and they'll carry the lobby. Hanzo's not usually someone you'd think of banning, but against that specific team, you have that knowledge, you gain that, you ban it on that map, you win that map. So having that little bit of knowledge that if you go into the CGL YouTube, I'm not being paid for this by the way, and search for the team name you're about to face, see if they've been casted recently, and be like, hey, they play these things. This is not a paid sponsor, by the way, but it's something you do, and we'll get you
None
ahead.
of us are paid to be here.
Listen. We're paid in the friendship we make along the way. That's all that really matters.
Yes.
But I mean, hey, listen, that's a fair shout. I think more teams honestly should do that, right? Like if somebody's been casted or something, just like go tap in real quick. Just go be like, hey, listen, I want to go see what they're doing. I want to see what they're on about. Especially with again how quickly everything has been rotating. But we could yap on and on about matches and stuff like that. But I think moving ahead, in terms of other adaptation, right? We have to also look towards the future of not just CGL but Overwatch, right? We know Season 15 in CGL has been monumental and fun so far, but Season 15 for Overwatch, the team has been promising some major changes, similar to how Season 9 reworked hitboxes, projectile sizes, things of that nature. I mean, it's terrifying because again, we're still living in the repercussions of that Season 9. A lot of people are like in nightmare mode or the horror stories. But what on earth could the Overwatch team be cooking that could be on that level?
I just always say don't expect the moon with this kind of stuff. Don't get your hopes up too high about it. Keep it relatively low, because if they do anything outside of the ground level, then it's a big shock and a big plus here. Like there are times where I thought the Season 9 changes were good. There are times where I think they're bad. It's been back and forth. It's been something I've gone back, like I said, back and forth with. Overall, I think they were just okay. Granted, as we've gone on and added new heroes to the pool, it's kind of ruined it a little bit more. But at the time, I thought the Season 9 change was exciting because it really did force a lot of teams to start playing a little bit differently, and we saw that a little bit in Dallas, because that's when Season 9 just came out. So everyone was trying to learn it on the fly, even though there was a defined meta there. You're seeing teams still find some success running stuff that wasn't necessarily the strongest.
Mm-hmm. Definitely remember the start of Season 9. I like the idea of it. The DPS passive meant that sustain was much less likely, hypothetically. I think as time went on, I realized, okay, I can see the flaws in this one. So I've definitely been kind of like the same as you, Dex, back and forth on it. I was checking my competitive history since Season 9, and Season 9 was the last time I actually logged in. So I think since then I'm just like, I'll just play quick play because I'm not built for this, which is maybe a me thing also, but I don't know. Yeah, well, we know for one, it's not going to be 6v6. We're not moving to 6v6. We're doing a 6v6 test comp one in Season 15. That's still maybe down the future that could happen. Is it reverting Season 9 and then maybe doing something else? That's also big. I mean, one of the reasons why these other modes that we've had, like 6v6, still have some of the Season 9 stuff is how difficult it is to take it out of the game. Apparently, I mean, I'm not a dev. I have no idea what it takes to do things like this, but apparently it's more difficult to take it out than you'd think. So that would be a big thing to take it out, and then, but what would they do from there? Hero bans in the actual game? I mean, that's a push. Where would it start? Diamond, kind of like Marvel Rivals. That would be nice to see, but in terms of actual gameplay differences, I'm not actually sure where they're going. I'm excited to see.
Oh, first of all, I want to say I hate announcements. They are
That's
incredibly
fair.
frustrating, because I don't get excited knowing that, oh, big changes are on the horizon. You know, 2 weeks. Like, it's insane that they announced this 2 weeks before the actual announcement is going to be coming out. Because we still have 3 days before that announcement gets, put out on, online. But that's not gonna be. That's neither here nor there. I don't like the announcements. Other than that, man, I don't even know what could be here, coming from them. There's so much that can change or should change, or and will change, I suppose. Um, that I can't even begin to fathom what their idea of, a big change is going to be. Because I've heard, from a bunch of different places, not even just like Overwatch or gaming in general. I've heard, a bunch of people talk about how, oh, big things are on the horizon, and then I get shot in the foot because I believed in them. So I am going to be a lot like Dex. I'm going to be withholding my, enthusiasm for actually the 12th when they do release it, because yeah, here we've got our, announcement, um, from Overwatch at playoverwatch.com gaming OW.
Mhm.
It's I hope it'll be good, but I've been burned before by promises like that, so I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Wait,
I mean,
listen.
you could.
No, no, go ahead, Dex.
No, I was gonna say, like, you could be like, I'm not gonna dog on anyone who's really really excited about this,
Mm.
but what I am gonna
No.
dog on is, are they gonna be the people who said, hey, yeah, this is the last straw for me if it's not good. Like, if that's it, then, like, if you're coming into it saying that, like, you're basically hoping for a lot, and if it doesn't meet that level, then you're just gonna say, yeah, they're not trying hard enough, which I just don't think is the right way to do it.
No, yeah, like totally. This game has become gaming's scapegoat for some reason. And
Yes.
yes, it has issues, yes, but why is it every time something small and negative happens to this game, or something small happens positively to another game with Marvel characters, it's the end of Overwatch, it's the doom. And I think, to say some real stuff for a moment, there are some people who don't like Overwatch. They just like opening the game, losing a team fight, pressing tab, finding who's to blame, typing a bit, and then tweeting a bit, and then that's like their enjoyment of the game. Like, they're not actually people who do enjoy the game, who sit down, love it, whether they play quick play or comp. And those people, like, are right to be excited, but also, let's be real. Announcements do suck.
Yeah.
And they announced, this game has announced a lot of things. It's an old game. There's been a lot of announcements.
8 years.
Not Yeah, not all of them have been brilliant, right? Not all of them have even happened when they do announce things. So I don't blame the community for
Banners.
being skeptical. Banners, right? Where's my
Weapon
banner?
inspects.
Weapon inspections. Like,
They're behind the paywall.
yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I agree with you. Like, this game is looked at as a punching bag of sorts for, I would just say, esports in general. But I've always wondered, if this game dies, what's next? Because there's not just gonna be, oh, we're free. No, there's gonna be another punching bag, because someone's always gonna want to hate on something else. So I've just wondered that now for a while.
I know.
I think
know,
that's why Overwatch can't die. I think Overwatch has to exist. Like, I think Dexerto would go out of business if Overwatch wasn't there to dunk on time and again.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the keeping expectations low mindset here. But now to sort of shift gears, and let's see what we can actually think and expect, right? Because this is the official tweet of the announcement that, again, announcement's a little bit silly, but they say, and quote here, tune in live for new heroes, new maps, groundbreaking PvP changes, and so much more. So much more, we don't even need to worry about that, right? New heroes, new maps, groundbreaking PvP. In my mind, what I associate this with was the last time we got BlizzCon, right? Where we got to see Venture at BlizzCon. It was super hype. We got a sort of teaser for Juno. I believe she was called like Space something. Space Ranger. It was just all they had for us at the time and some concept art. And then we got like the hinting of Malga. Or not Malga. Hazard.
Yeah.
Listen, my brain is tired.
Malga was in there as well.
Well, yeah, Malga. Oh, yeah, Malga was announced at BlizzCon, wasn't he? Or he was like, because that was the free weekend for him.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was BlizzCon 2023. Because they didn't hold BlizzCon last year.
Malga was announced at OW or Owl Finals,
which was like it was like because there was like a month in between.
Yeah, or something like that.
Something like that. Well, no, because Owl Finals was Samoa. They showed Samoa there, and then a month later we got Malga.
Yeah.
Something. But the point being that, like, in my mind, because BlizzCon did not happen this previous year, I think Overwatch is taking this opportunity to have its own personal, like, what they would announce at a BlizzCon, right? So this is going to be your year at large review, kind of like how they did last year, which honestly, this format works for a lot of companies, right? I mean, Pokemon Company, they pretty much do a very similar format where every year on Pokemon Day, they're like, hey, listen, here's what's happening in the next year, give or take. Pokemon Sleep, we don't talk about that timeline, if anybody actually knows what happened there. But
my brother and a group of his friends.
I claimed the Pokemon Day poster from my local GameStop, so that's gonna be fire.
Hey, listen,
once that ends.
Listen, that is cool, but again, there's certain, like, there's companies that have done this like yearly format before. So new heroes, and again, I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on this. My expectations are something similar to how we had at BlizzCon, where you're going to get a lot of detail about who's coming next. Granted, they're not coming till Season 16, but you're probably going to get, potentially a trailer or something to that effect showing them off. Then you'll get concept art of who's after that, and then your vague hint of a teaser about someone. That's sort of where my mind goes. In terms of maps, I have no clue where we would go with maps. I can't even think of the last time we were adding maps to this game that wasn't involved with a whole new mode, and that kind of hurts my head a little bit.
Samoa.
Last new map was Samoa. I think it's gonna go back to the argument that I've been saying. They've added new game modes to this game. I'm not going to talk about Clash, but you need to add a couple more push maps, bring it up to at least 5 or 6 here, so that there's a little bit more variety in that. It's probably time to add another hybrid map here, considering
Flashpoint.
Oh yeah, on my
I would say Flashpoint.
Oh
yeah,
Flashpoint map.
No, we need two more Flashpoint maps. I mean, the 2 we have right now are great, but they're getting old, and having something new would be really fun just to play around with, especially since, I mean, I feel like that one community made map that they had like a year and a half ago or a year ago, you could turn something like
Atlantis?
that in.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Atlantis.
Yeah, like you could have. Yeah, you could make that in probably to a Flashpoint map a little bit. You would have to, rearrange it, but it could be made into that. But again, just I don't care if it's another control map, but we need more push and Flashpoint maps. And they're going to throw in one more Clash map because they probably already had it ready to go before they decided, fuck it, and we're taking it out.
Listen, Clash happened.
Yeah, I'm happy that they've taken Clash out comp. I gave it a chance, right? I wasn't a doomer out the gate, but as soon as you get to that last point, the game mode crawls to a stop, and it just doesn't feel good. So I like that they're acknowledging that and taking time, and it is funny to see Hanamura and Anubis out of the comp.
Once again.
So like they are just cursed, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I want another Flashpoint map. A push map would be nice, but like having two maps in one of the core modes is just it's brutal. And I know like I think people had combined Flashpoint and Clash because there's such little help pools, but now they're not in comp. Obviously, actually that's a good question. Right now, Clash can be played in CGL, right? So after
Well,
season 15,
no,
is it
No,
going to change?
we
No,
took
no,
it
no.
out. It's out.
Oh,
No.
it is out. It is out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
was
came
a
out at
ver-
the last minute.
Yeah, it was a very
Ah.
last second change when they banned Clash from comp next season and OWCS this current stage. They're like, okay, we're taking it out.
Okay, that's fair.
Headrammer personally ran in there with a loaded handgun and was like, I have a chance to get it out. It's going down." But honestly, maybe a crazy take because as we saw, Throne of Anubis, Hana Oka. This is the second time we've had these concepts as maps. Started with 2CP, obviously. Just making them into Flashpoint, is that the final evolution to make these maps not hated? Because, as you said, with Flashpoint, as the way it currently stands, New Junk City and Servasa, I think I speak for a lot of people when it's like, they enjoy Flashpoint. It's a very much a different pace of game.
Yeah.
Both maps are really good. You have some good positioning on a lot of the points. Nothing feels oppressive or crazy like that. Do you think that there's potential to take the Clash maps and maybe make them into that?
I don't know if we're there yet. See, with my point of view for Clash, it's so much more fixable than 2CP was. Because 2CP would require like some sort of reset or like changing where the spawns are or something, and it's just a bit more tricky. I think Clash is fine until you get to the final points, and that's when it kind of falls apart. There's been like some ideas thrown out there to change how it's scored rather than like 1 point per like point. It's more of like a kind of tug of war, kind of back and forth. So you can claim it and then move on,
God,
claim
I
it.
would love that.
Something
That
like
would
that.
be so much fun.
I want to say that was Soav that said that, but I might be wrong. Soav or Bullskunk. But yeah, that I like that idea. But I would love to see Flash. I want to see a moon map back. It's such a cool concept to have a moon map. Now we can have a Mars map as well, but I want a moon map, and I think a moon map Flashpoint would be better than a Clash map. So I would love to see that return.
I mean, going back to what Mega said, yeah, I could see them changing the two Clash maps we have into Flashpoint maps. Wouldn't necessarily be that hard, and I mean, you could tell since they decided to go back, they want to try to at least keep the lore of those maps going a little bit, even though the story has kind of been, put by the wayside a little bit. There is still lore being dropped on it, but I don't know. I just think Flashpoint is so fun because it's what makes Overwatch such a fun strategic game is because you can swap your comps unlike other games here. You have to be really quick on your toes. You can't sit and say, okay, I'm going to hold on to this one comp for the one more fight. No, you have to know when to give it up. But I mean, I just want to see some more Flashpoint, and I think Flashpoint has been the best mode they've added in since the launch of the original game.
I agree. But
Yeah,
you look like
I
you're
think I
growing.
prefer Push personally,
Eh?
but I do like Flashpoint.
Push is fun. It just needs more maps, especially since and Runasapi is a good example of it. In Runasapi, I feel like everyone loves the map, even though it is almost the exact same layout as what it was New Queen Street.
Well,
but like the slight differences on it, you could tell they learned a lot from the first push maps they made and made the changes on Runasapi.
I just blew Runasapi from like a competitive perspective purely for the fact of like it is one of the push maps in the game where I see a team go up 100 meters as somebody casting or watching the game, and the map's not over at that point. It's not like, oh, we're about to just sit here for the next 6 minutes, right? It is actually a map where you can come back and strategize from that level of deficit. I think that like Runasapi shows that the devs finally understand what's needed for push. And hopefully they can find ways, like, if there's other struggle points on map. I mean, like, for example, right? As much as people are like, remove the glass on Coliseo, like, the Coliseo changes when those happen, right? It made it such a better, enjoyable map. So, as much as people want to dunk on Overwatch, say it's bad, the devs are listening, the devs are learning.
Yeah. The devs we have now are so good compared to the devs we had before. Obviously, the devs we had before had less time with the game, but like I do find it a little disingenuous. People like, oh my god, reverted to this Overwatch classic Moth meta. Really? You want Moth meta back?
Yeah.
Are you insane?
Yeah, like I've had fun with that, but like you could definitely tell, like, yeah, what we have now is a lot better. But moving to the next thing, the PvP changes. I mean, you have to imagine, like we already talked about, hero bands are gonna be one of them. 6v6 is coming back.
One second. Before
Okay.
we move on, I see Fletch has been brewing. We've been doing a lot of yapping, and Fletch has been like brewing on something. So I want to give him the chance before we move to say his piece.
No, I was just gonna make a joke like 10 minutes ago about Human Torch and the Thing.
All right, so Fletch has officially wasted my time. Dex, continue with the groundbreaking PvP changes.
I mean, we're already assuming that hero band's definitely gonna be one of them, at least for comp, and I would think that's gonna be the entirety of comp, not just to a certain level. Where 6v6 is coming back in a competitive mode, that's gonna probably be a lot of the changes they're talking about with PvP. Just talking about everything they had to do with that. And it's going to be a little bit of what we already talked about. Walking back season 9, I think they're going to keep some of the stuff. I think the hitboxes will remain the same, but they're going to get rid of some of those passives and just kind of have it be something like we had before season 9. But outside of that, I'm trying to figure out like what's going to be another groundbreaking thing. Do we potentially see another role come in to try to add something to it? I don't think it would make a lot of sense, but
I don't know about role. What I do think is that one of the unfulfilled promises that we've been getting for a while is the actually kind of the opposite of what you said, Dex, where they were people were like, hey, what if everybody got to choose their passive before the game starts? I think that is very much a possibility, right? I think they kind of soft tested that with the new Junkenstein game mode this past Halloween. So I don't know, I haven't been playing as much recently for sure, right? So, I can't say from first person experience, what I think is broken right now, what I think, needs to be changed. But I do think that something like that, where you don't have these hard passives at all, it could make our jobs a little bit more difficult trying to keep track of all of it. But I do think that it would make the game a little bit more fresh and even a little bit more unique because there are there's kind of a we've talked a little bit about rivals, right? Where there's kind of already a soft version of this in their team up abilities, and I don't think we're gonna get anything like that. But I do think it's an interesting comparison to make because you have to choose to get that team up in your comp, right? Whereas with Overwatch, if you have this passive thing where you get to choose your passive the whole time, you've got a little bit more agency in the fact that you don't have to rely on somebody else to get that passive, and you can play the way that you want to play, how you want to play it. So I'm not 100% certain. This is of course all just speculation, but I think that the passive being chosen by the player could be a super interesting change.
Yeah,
I think they've actually decoded it right because they choose their words very specifically, and I figured it out. I'm in the Matrix. Groundbreaking PvP changes. We're getting a Venture meta. Venture's getting buffed. We're getting a Venture meta because Venture breaks the ground, right? Everyone gets a drill. The quick melee for everyone is now a drill. You can drill underground. It makes sense, right? What does it matter if you're on your least favorite map if you can just drill through it?
No. You're looking at too basic here. Groundbreaking. It's gonna be like what Call of Duty and what Battlefield does. It's just gonna be, hey, yeah, you can break shit now. Sorry. You can break the walls now. You can break the environment. Open it up a little bit more. There's gonna be certain stuff you can't break, but you will now be able to bust open the walls.
I honestly, I hope not. I've played Marvel Rivals a little bit, and I actually am very sick of that mechanic. I actually hope they take that back in Marvel Rivals. It happens way too much. See, when a ceiling is falling on me and gets in the way of my ult, Okay, fool me once, that's funny, haha. Fool me twice? Hello? Why does this keep happening to me?
Just break it, you little goober.
Just
That
break
bit
it
can't
again.
break!
Wait. So what? Here, everyone, make your hot take now. On what's gonna be the most like, and much more? What's gonna be the thing they have that's no one's talking about?
oh, for the groundbreaking PvP changes.
No, that
and
last
so
part,
much
and
more.
there's so much more.
Oh, so much more. Believe it or not, banners are dropping $20 a pop.
Yeah, mythic banners!
I
Mythic
think
banners, billions of dollars must be printed.
I think banners are gonna
Um,
be dropped when OWCS partner teams get their stuff in.
They're
I
gonna
think that's
make
the.
Pharmacy canon.
Ooh, okay.
I'm just gonna. I think my big thing is they're gonna announce that the comic series they do is gonna be something that's gonna become like a regular comic series. It's gonna have a little bit more, you know.
Like that'll be
Uh,
the official lore output.
Yeah, like keep the comics going because I think like those have been really good. Those have been really fun so far. I think people who are expecting like a show, if there is anyone, are probably expecting a little bit too much. I think the comic series, considering they've done them and they've, in my opinion, been all really good. I think that's the way to go if you want to, have the lore keep going with this game.
That said, a show would be sick.
Yes.
It would be, but it would be. However, I just think starting off with a comic series would just be the right way to go with it, and then you could extend it into a show. And I know everyone's gonna talk about, well, they already do all these cinematics when they do them, and they're incredible. But like,
You said
we haven't seen a lot of those.
I was about to say the
Yeah.
last like full-fledged cinematic, like we've gotten some stuff
was
for like
Stepping
certain heroes, but the last one was Sojourn's now.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something like I forget what it was, but there was a cinematic like something that was probably cut at some point with Winston and May. I think it was part of the Juno showcase or
Mhm.
something like that. But like you could tell that was something we never saw before, and they used 2 seconds of something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think when it comes to like a show and stuff, like what we forget, and we try not to talk about this often, right? Sore point in the community. They have a campaign. They have
Yeah.
a written campaign somewhere. The writers would have written it. It's there. There is a story that can be used, and obviously, unfortunately, Microsoft decided to lay off a lot, if not all, of the PVE related devs. So we're not going to get PVE. It's not what I'm saying. But you can use that for a show. You can use that for cinematics. I actually think they undervalue how much cinematics would fix a lot of their PR issues. Just
Yeah.
it's such a simple thing that I don't think
mean,
they realize how important it was.
And wasn't the original thing for the like campaign gonna be like, hey, yeah, we're gonna drop new missions every 18 months, and we're coming up on 18 months right now, right?
I think we're a little bit over, but yeah, that's the sort of the general sentiment. But like, I don't know. I think PVE, the most realistic hope is what Dex was talking about with the comic. A show could be heavenly. I mean, we know that discussions happened in the past with people like Netflix and stuff like that. It just never ended up coming to fruition. And Overwatch is, I mean, they've shown that they can work with multiple styles, right? Because while we know and love the Overwatch polish that comes with, the Overwatch cinematics,
The Doomfist cinematic is peak.
well, that's what I was gonna say. They also have an animated style with that Doomfist one, but even more recently, they've shown they can still do that with one for Mauga. That I feel like a lot of people look over that Mauga animation because it really is amazing as well. Not only for the animation quality being good, but it tells Mauga's story in such an incredible way. Because like Mauga as a character, like I'll push even beyond Mauga actually. Overwatch for each and every character, I would say there is an insanely deep and good background besides one that I think Overwatch, they were cooking something and they kind of forgot they were cooking it. Shouting out ERE here. I think that they kind of forgot they were doing something there. But overall,
she killed everybody. Megalas, all of them.
yeah, but like it doesn't relate to anything in the slightest. Like if you look at all of the characters, I hate to call it out like this, because I'm trying to praise how good their character design is from a lore standpoint of incorporating them. Like everybody else is like incorporated in this unique way. You even have Hazard coming in with the freaks and like why they protest against Overwatch and stuff like that. But then just Iari's like, I nuked my whole village. My bad.
Yeah, and it's similar to Juno, right? Where like Juno just kind of has appeared. So I'd say Juno and Yari have the kind of same vibe
But
where like
Juno
yeah,
at least has relations to Overwatch. Like with May being the quote unquote on and like the scientists working, sending her from the moon colony.
Yeah.
True,
Or the
that's fair.
Mars colony.
Right.
In my mind, that kind of feels like a throwaway choice they made, but like that is, to be fair, that is more of a connection to anything Yari has. Whereas
Mhm.
like I feel like every character we get that's like connected to like the Omnics, right? Like the freaks, and Hazard just feels so much like better, right?
Mhm.
Because like that's like the core difference between our world and Overwatch. Obviously, theirs is in the future, but the main difference is the Omnics, right? And the Omnic crisis, and that's like their main thing. That's their main world building, and obviously the second Omnic crisis was going to be what the first missions were about. So anytime they lean into that, that's when it gets really interesting. And I like that they started to play with Omnic designs a little bit more. Don't really know how much sense it makes lore wise, but then again, I don't remember too much of my lore. I've been lacking in my Overwatch lore homework, so
Mhm.
I might be forgetting some things. But on that note, I'd love some more Omnic characters. If we're going to be getting Omnic characters, you know, I don't think Maximilian's coming. I think Maximilian's going to be remaining like a background NPC, but like I want to see more Omnic characters coming up with more unique designs.
Yeah.
Maximilian's the kind of guy I don't want to get his hands dirty.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't.
So many people have said he should be a character. I'm like, you guys just don't understand him. Like he
Yeah,
he would
I
never
mean,
be a character.
Years ago when they released that PVE thing with Maximilian, I don't agree. I think that's a bit of a silly idea. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to see something. I mean, you know, back to the like you saw what Riot did with Arcane, right? It improved because League of Legends as a game, is still insanely popular, right?
Mhm.
Um
Oh, maybe not
and
nowadays. They're doing a little bit of an interesting thing over there. Smile.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah. We're.
well, re- I have never been super into League of Legends, so I'm not really sure what's, going on, but you look at the conceptions of League versus Overwatch, and they over the years have kind of been in similar positions with each other, with negative light or positive light. And you look at what happened with Arcane, and you're like, wow, I want to go, I want to hit the rift real quick, and you might not stay there for very long. You might realize, oh, I'm playing League of Legends now, and leave, right? But I genuinely believe something like that will. It's just I can't imagine it would hurt anything, right? I think it would be a massive boon
Mm.
for Overwatch and Blizzard in general, because right now Overwatch is probably at the lowest point it has been since no, Dex, I see what the face you're making. I'm saying Overwatch is at the lowest point it's been since that content drought,
Mm.
right? Um,
I don't know, man. You ask
because
you ask Japan. They love Overwatch. They're chilling.
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, well, I don't know if you can tell, Megalass, I'm not Japanese. um,
It's somewhat
and
noticeable.
Japan, and Japan is such a small percentage of the people that are playing this game, and you know what? More power to them, right? I love that they love Overwatch, and like if anybody is really enjoying Overwatch right now, I'm so happy because
Mm.
for as much as I don't play Overwatch as much anymore, I'm so happy that other people are still interested, right? But I'm speaking for the places that I know in North America. in EU, Overwatch is at its lowest point since that content drought. They need something big to happen, or it's going to fall off into that obscurity. I don't think Overwatch will ever die, right? I don't think it will be a completely dead game. They won't shut down the servers, but it cannot be understated, right? That Overwatch, you know, they've made some mistakes. We can all agree to that, right? And people are frustrated, myself included. I'm frustrated with some of the things that has been happening. I wasn't as big of a hater about the PvE things. I was never really that interested in them, but I think it's fair to say, I was really hoping for the PvE to bring back my hard interest in Overwatch. I think that's entirely a fair opinion to hold about the game. And if something like Arcane for League of Legends could come in and at least bolster the player count temporarily, I mean that it cannot be understated how impactful that would be, because I think Overwatch is generally a less it's obviously less of a commitment than League is, because you can get on, play one game in and out 15 minutes if you're playing quick play, right? League is a bigger commitment. So I think that if people come to Overwatch from something like an Arcane, they're probably more likely to stay.
Yeah, I will say I do disagree that Overwatch. I don't think Overwatch is at the lowest point it's been in a while. I think the lowest point I'd say is right after we were told PvE is not happening. That was a pretty low point. I'd say right now it might feel like it, because every other article starts with Overwatch is dead, Marvel Rivals doing this, or Marvel Rivals Steam count this, Overwatch Steam count that. But during this past couple months, Blizzard revealed a stat which I think is quite telling. In the last year, 2024, they banned 800,000 cheaters. Now, I don't know about you guys, cheaters are a very small percentage of the player base, and we don't know Battle.net stats, we've never been told them. But to me, if a game in its 8th year, 7th year, whatever 2024 was, is banning 800,000 cheaters, to me, if that sounds like that's a pretty alive game. It sounds like it's alive and well. I just do think it's more of a PR thing. Not many people are loving the Overwatch content available, which is not really much, and the content creators they're a little bit occupied at the moment with another thing. We don't need to get into all of the details on that one. But I think the content side of Overwatch is lacking, but I think the game itself is still in a pretty good spot, and whatever they do with Spotlight's likely going to season things up a bit.
Yeah, and I mean,
go ahead, Dex.
no, I was gonna say, I mean, Mega's showing the featured creators there, and there's been some people, not necessarily happy with who got picked, but at the same time, you're just trying to get eyes back on the game, and the people they went after will get a lot of eyes on it. But I mean, again, just going back to the spotlight. Granted, like the comic series was something like that's my shot in the dark. Like, oh yeah, they're gonna announce a little bit more than gameplay stuff. Hey, the comic series would be something cool, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up on that. If they announce something different, cool, and it's nice, cool. Other than that, like, I'm gonna go into this. I'm gonna watch what they have to say about the game, and I mean, I hope it's going to be good, because, I mean, I still generally love playing this game. I mean, hell, this is the game that I play the most. I sit down at night to relax. I will play a couple games of quick play, a couple games of comp, and then just go to bed. Like, this is my comfort game.
Yeah,
I think Overwatch is not going anywhere. I think
Yeah.
whatever comes out on the 12th,
Yeah.
come hell or high water, I think that for the first time in a while, and I as somebody who's been highly critical of the devs, want to say this, I think the devs who are there have finally sorted through a lot of bad things that they had to work with. I think we are on the other side of a lot of stuff. I think hero balance is probably the only thing that still maybe you need to fine tune a little bit more. But besides that, I think that the right people are there now, and the game's going to be heading in the right direction. for the future.
I
Go ahead.
agree with that, but and I think it's incredibly stupid to not consider Marvel Rivals, right? Um, because this is the first time that Overwatch has had a major competitor in the hero shooter space. So, I mean, I know from firsthand experience just how many, players that have gone from Overwatch to Marvel Rivals, myself included. I've been playing a lot, significantly more Overwatch than or Marvel Rivals than Overwatch, and relating this to CGL, a lot of the Smelvin Industries guys have transitioned from competing in Overwatch to being one of the best console teams in EU, if not the best console team in EU in Marvel, right? So I think that I don't think Marvel Rivals in a vacuum can kill Overwatch. I don't think that will happen. But I do think that it's folly to believe that Marvel Rivals is not a factor in this. And I do agree. I think that they might have finally gotten their stuff straightened out. And if that's the case, I'm ecstatic. Like if they have something good up their sleeves for the 12th, there's a chance that my interest could be brought back, right?
Okay.
But they need well, I can only speak for myself,
Yeah.
right? So I think that it is something that you have to think about when you're thinking about Overwatch right now, right? Is that they do have this major competitor that is, at the very least, taking some of the player base away. So you need something big to try and persuade them to come back, and that is what I'm looking forward to the most, right? Is that I don't think that Marvel Rivals, one more time, it won't kill Overwatch. I don't think it can, and by itself anyway. But you know, you need something, and I need something, and
Yeah.
so many people need some reason to want to open Overwatch again, and because of that, I really am going to keep a close eye on what they say on the 12th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so
Good. Yeah.
let's just wait for the 12th here.
Wait for the 12. Listen, I feel like.
Before,
Oh, go ahead, Gio.
before we move on, just to back on the Marvel Rivals Over stuff, there's another game that it didn't get talked about in that debate and has kind of went on the rare. Paladins. The servers are it's no longer being developed. Paladins is caught in this crossfire and it's gone.
Like I feel bad.
Paladins never had a chance.
Well, but I feel bad for them because I think Soav played Paladins a little bit. He talked about it. He's always talked about it highly and how fun the game was. And then you look at the community for that game and realize like they generally really did care about that game, even though it was small. They had a lot of fun with it. So I hate any game that kind of says we have to basically shut down our servers or that they're going to stop development on it. But Paladins, even though it was this this the one that wasn't getting a lot of attention, I mean, it still survived for a long time.
Yeah, I didn't know it was still up until like a year or so ago, and then I found out about the Paladins community. I was like, oh wow, they're still going strong. So it's sad to see them go, but I do agree. Marvel Rivals is the right kind of competition because it's not so much for the devs to lock in. It's the people bankrolling the devs. It's Blizzard for them to realize, oh wait, actually we can't be a sleeping giant. We actually need to move. We can't be the crawl, walk, run company all the time. Sometimes we need to get things going, and we kind of see that a little bit. They had a bit of a skin controversy with Lucio. They immediately fixed it, and then I'd say even gave back more with giving another Baptiste skin in the Twitch drops. As well as the Clash mode coming out, that kind of seems like something that would be a big decision for the Overwatch dev team, who are very reticent to do things like that. It seems like they're a little bit more cautious of bad PR at the moment, which tells me they probably have some good stuff. Again, I'm excited, but it's not going to be. I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited. I'm excited for the 12th. We'll see. We'll see.
Hey, listen. You see that Super's not listed on the Spotlight featured creators? That's how you know they're locking in. All right, they can't have Mr. Stefe thumbnails running around in here doing crazy things. But maybe a little bit longer than I thought we would go on this, but that's fine.
Yeah.
We got into it. We chatted here, and I want to end this part on a light note as well. So here, I'm gonna each rapid fire. You can't explain it. You can't justify it. One collab of anime, something or anything like that that's gonna happen in this year within Overwatch. Deck, start with you.
Why'd you start with me? I don't watch anime.
Or a show, anything. It could be anything. A collab skins that are dropping in Overwatch this year.
You know what? I've been saying this now for a while, and it's going to
Mhm.
touch on something that you guys brought up last week. They're going to do something with an actual like sports player, and we know Luca likes this game. So I wouldn't be surprised if they find a couple other, professional sport athletes to do a collab with.
Okay. Potential NBA collab. A Hanzo Luca skin could go hard. Fletch, go with you.
That time I got reincarnated as a slime.
This weeb, absolute craziness. I don't know who would be the slime actually.
Genji.
All right, Geo, what do you got? What are you cooking?
Oh no, even better.
Oh, wait.
Diva.
I'm not entertaining that with a 10-foot pole.
God.
Geo,
Oh,
save
Diva,
us
is
from
that-
whatever that
Diva,
is.
Geo,
Diva, a big.
Fletch, shut up.
blue
Am
thing
I
with
too
Fletch.
innocent to know what's
Fletch,
happening?
shut up. Geo, speak.
I have no idea. I was gonna say the meme one, which is DC, but you know what? WWE. Let's get John Cena, Ramatra, and when
He
goes
was already in the PR.
flex mode.
Yeah, which he was. Here, Mega. How about you? How about instead of doing anime, what about music? Who could you see him going at?
Okay, hear me out. It's gonna be random, out of nowhere. Nobody would expect it for any reason. Kiss collab.
Who?
Who? Kiss?
Oh,
Kiss.
Kiss.
Oh, Kiss.
Kiss.
Okay.
Okay.
You're gonna get like
Yeah,
a
you know what, I
Junker
agree.
Queen, a Roadhog. I don't know who else, but it'll cook. Trust me.
I'm for that. I'm down for that.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Listen, it'll be great. I'm telling you. But whatever it is, like we said, the 12th will be an interesting time. Might try to see if we can do a CGO reaction stream. I don't know. We'll have to see what that's looking like on Thursday. But in the meantime here, like we said,
You know,
we have yapped about this a lot.
Yeah, we
know what,
went
Mega?
on probably a little bit too long about
I
that,
think
but
that's
That's
okay
fine.
because we were supposed to talk about the hazard stuff for
Hey,
30
listen.
minutes and we talked about it for 15.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen. I'm
So,
in control
we just did it
here.
the rest of that
The
time.
The yap is fine.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just made that up with the rest of this time.
It's
Future of
fine.
Overwatch is a big topic at the moment in the community, so
But do you know what else is
Especially-
even more fun? Some games. Some games that we get to play,
What?
like GeoGuessr.
What is... Oh, wait,
Me?
who guesser?
You should make
Yeah.
you change the E to an I
Barely
since
know
it's
her.
here.
It's alright. We got GeoGuessr. Here, we'll get the dash in there.
He's right there.
Right there.
He's right there.
Flint
Point.
wins. I'm here.
I can't.
But yeah,
It's
so
like Where's Wally, but with me.
I'm gonna be so real. The reason we're making the show is literally I was going to set up another different game because we did play GeoGuessr last week, but Geo's here, so I thought it'd be funny just purely to make that joke. As well as there were actually some improvements that I've made since last week. So each of our images of our maps, I actually have 3 separate images of each map where it zooms out further and further. So that way it's guaranteed somebody will get the point. Somebody will figure it out.
Do we have a buzzer?
I actually was just thinking about how I hadn't set the buzzer up at all. So I'm just gonna quickly do that. We're just gonna somebody just riff. Fletcher, you're good at yapping. What do you want to yap about?
I woke up at 1:05 p.m. after I was supposed to be here. So, yeah.
Nice.
But Geo, Dex, how y'all feeling?
I'm good. I had some coffee with our other resident EU Spectrum. Talks about some Overwatch, talks about some CGL. I was talking about how I'm going to sign up for some play-by-plays. I'm going
There we
to
go.
switch
Ooh.
role for a little bit, see how that goes, and kind of vibe with. I want to get some diamond games. I want to represent the low tiers a little bit more in CGL. I know it's not up to me, but I'm gonna push that.
Listen, the
I'm down
riffing-
for that.
Yeah, hey, listen, that just not type to me.
Yeah, I've been I picked up the Pokemon TCG recently, like the actual game. I've been having a lot of fun with that. I hit the highest rank on the rank ladder on the live app last night. Hit Arceus. Love that.
You love to hear that. Also, the buzzer is in the live channel along with the passcode thingy for the game. Just while you're yapping about it, but no, Fletch actually has been into the TCG for a hot minute. This dude randomly it just DMs me all hours of the day what the polls are, what's going on. And as somebody who's too broke to be in the thing themselves, it's kind of fun.
Actually, I only just recently started playing the game. Collecting I've done for a bit. But currently I started playing 2 weeks ago, and I've been to 2 locals, and I am 5-2 between the 2 of them right now.
There you go.
Nice.
Not a bad start.
I don't know anything about Pokemon, but that sounds good.
Yeah,
That definitely sounds good.
Out of the 7 games I've played, I've won 5. So
Good numbers.
yeah.
I just want to make sure y'all cannot see the pictures that are currently on my screen, right?
No.
No.
Mega.
Okay, perfect. I'm double making sure everything is functioning properly here. Just gonna put that in there. Good to know that our buzzers are working. Glad to hear that.
You know, you could always, just so you don't run into that problem, you could have I forget what it is. You could right click on the screen to have it be a projected screen and just share that screen with us.
Right click.
Yeah, just don't worry about it now.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Things are. If this works, it's fine. So, name of the game. There's 10 potential points on the board here. Everybody will get a chance to guess each round if they want to. Of course, whoever buzz is in. Now, Fletch, you were here last week, and there was a noticeable you buzzing in and then thinking.
Yes.
So you know we're gonna curb tail that a little bit.
Like
When
5
you
seconds?
buzz in, you've got 5 seconds to give me an answer, regardless of anyone. So
Makes sense.
make sure you're buzzing in with that thought in your brain of where on earth could we be. But with that
Alright.
being said, I'm gonna try to let me see if I can like zoom this out, make it larger for y'all, just so that way. I don't know how to make this any.
You'd have to bring the bomb bed down. I think,
Wait,
I
oh
don't-
wait, hang
like
on.
that. Yeah.
It's like a single
oh.
pixel. Oh,
Precision.
There we go.
Precision.
you know what? This
That's
is
as far as you go.
That's
You know what?
okay.
It's good enough.
Yeah, that's
y'all
fine.
will. I
yeah.
promise y'all can see. Probably, maybe.
Oh, we
Anyway,
can see.
with that being said, our first image is right here. Geo.
New Junk City.
Wow. I thought it would take at least 2 images, but yeah, that's New Chunk City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Gio, I was right with you on that. I was going back and forth. This is Junkertown and New Junk City because
The
Yeah, I
rust.
felt like one of
the
them.
rusty fan.
See, I thought I
sends it
zoomed
away.
in enough to where the rust maybe wouldn't be a dead giveaway, but here, you know, just for fun, we'll zoom it out. We'll see what else was going on in this image, just for fun. But if you close your eyes, you think, oh, you know, you were zoomed out a little bit. We're chilling here.
Okay.
And then in case you don't know exactly where this is, you know, that's okay. We're actually directly on top of the center point.
Yeah,
New Junk City.
nice.
Nice.
So yeah, so Geo already on the board. You love to see it. We're gonna clear the buzzer. Get ready to go back into it here. Notice how Fletch didn't immediately buzz, by the way. Change up immediately.
Yeah.
Wonder why that is.
He's gonna immediately buzz the second time, you know, right?
I mean, if he wants to buzz on this, well, all right, Fletch. What's it, what map is it? What map is it? Huh?
New Junk City.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Believe it or not, I switched it to Junkertown when you weren't looking. Let me clear the buzzer here, and we'll move on to our next image right now. Fletch,
Is this Ike?
what'd you say?
Ike.
It is not Eichenwald. We've got Dex next.
Dorado.
Dang, I felt bad after how hard week 1 was, so I guess I made these too easy. It is Dorado.
Oh, yes. I was gonna say Dorado. Damn.
It is Dorado. Again, you know, I just want to show off here because I did get multiple. We zoom it out, you see the whole wall, and then in
Yeah.
case somehow, some way, you have a little bit of a silliness going on, and you can't figure out where you're at, then boom, you're just here.
To be fair, it could have been King's Row. There's just something in the bricks, you know.
I could have seen that also being Esperanza somehow.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
as well, the one thing that sucks is that the lighting on maps can give it away a lot. is what
Yeah.
I've been learning as I've been trying to set these up.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, listen, we got 2 people on the board now. Fletch, hopefully you can get here, tie us up. Because again, I purposely set it up. There's 10 total points, so somebody will win. Surely, probably, maybe. But with that being said, we'll see if anyone can know where this is. Geo.
Watchpoint Gibraltar.
It's not Watchpoint Gibraltar. Dex.
That's rude.
That is not Route 66.
Okay.
Fletch.
Is this Runasapi?
This is not Runasapi. Where did you think this was on Runasapi? I'm curious.
It just is blue and yellow, and that's a
Yeah.
lot of the color scheme on Runasapi.
It's blue and yellow. Okay, that's fair. That makes sense. Well, I actually get to go on to the second image now. I'm so excited. OMG. We'll zoom it out, enhance, the opposite of enhance, if you will, to give you guys another chance. Dex.
Lunar Point.
It is not the Horizon Lunar Colony. Fletch.
Is it
Yeah.
Antarctica?
It is Antarctic Peninsula.
Ah,
We've got the Antarctic
damn,
Peninsula.
that's good.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
see,
gonna say
this one I
Daryl.
liked a lot, but then, like I said, sometimes, in case they can't get it, we'll just zoom out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you see that you're
Yeah.
one of the high grounds here on this point. The one thing about Antarctic is incredibly difficult to find an area without ice. I will say that. It is.
I mean-
Yeah, as in the name, isn't it? It's
I
a bit-
Yeah. But hey, listen, we're all tied up one apiece. That means you guys you're balling, you're studying, you've
Okay,
learned your
okay,
maps.
okay.
But let's see if anyone can learn about this map.
Ooh.
Geo.
Yeah. Right.
I'm gonna start it with a Circuit Royale.
No Circuit Royale. Fletch.
Is this J-Town?
This is not Junkertown. Dexatron.
Ilios?
Not Ilios. See, I like the guesses though. I like them. Granted, realizing that it gives you guys a lot of maps to guess, so you kind of get a process of elimination thing, but that's fine because we're gonna zoom it out right now. Fletch.
This is Route 66.
This is Route 66. You want to tell us where on Route 66?
It's the high ground on the backside of C.
Look at that. You know
Yeah.
things. I will say,
Yeah.
getting this shot was so annoying because the escalators kept pushing me.
I knew it looked garagey, so I was like, it's either Route 66 or it's Circuit, and I went Circuit because there is a garage. So
I thought it was like pillars or something, so I just said Ilios.
I was
Well,
gonna say
yeah, no,
Ilios was a wild choice. I won't lie.
Listen, the ceiling cam, as I learned last week with the Hollywood picture, the ceiling cam can throw people off.
Yeah.
But so that is now Fletch in the lead, actually, coming out of nowhere.
Okay.
So interesting
Well,
power
it's-
play
it's-
here.
It's 2-1-1.
Hey, listen. It's technically a lead. You got to give Fletch the chance where he gets it. But you have a chance to tie this lead right here with this map. Fletch,
Kings Row.
I really thought this was a good one. Yeah, it's Kings Row. Wow. I thought it was cooking here with the zoomed in great, but no.
Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't immediately see it.
It just looked like the underworld.
So Fletch is now 1 point away from clinching.
Oh
Well,
my
yeah.
God.
So listen, y'all gotta lock in, be ready. I could call an audible here, and I could say that you only get one guess total, so you could have to potentially wait for the zoom outs if you're not confident. We could do that.
That's up to you.
I think I'm
It's
gonna
up to
call that
you.
audible, purely because Fletch is winning, and nobody wants that. So,
I
With
did
that being
without
said-
the zoom out. So
hey, listen, that's fair.
that
But let's
is-
see if you can do this one without the zoom out.
I don't even know what that is.
You get so again to clarify the new rules. It's one guess total. If nobody's guessing, then we just zoom out.
This is definitely some like out of bounds stuff.
This is tricksy. There's a tricksiness to this one.
Like
Not gonna lie, I don't remember it looking like this when I screenshotted it, but that happens.
It's morphed. It's changed.
It's changed a little bit, but since there's no buzzers, I'm just gonna go ahead and enhance us out a little bit further.
Oh,
Dex.
Patricio.
It is not Paradiso. Fletch.
Cool.
Is it Esperanza?
It is not Esperanza. So now, Gio, you have all the power here. We'll zoom it out one more time for you.
okay. I've played my game smart here.
You've just
Hopefully.
simply waited.
Oh.
Okay.
This will be really funny when I get it wrong. Runasapi?
It is Runasapi.
Okay, good.
Listen,
I was between the two of them. It was a coin flip.
Listen, Runasapi, it's a funny little thing. There's these, you got these flags all over the map. They're doing a lot of stuff. But,
Yeah.
listen, like I said, I'd like the zoom outs a lot more. It makes it a little more interesting, a little bit more fun for everybody.
Yeah.
But that being said,
Since I got the point, I agree.
my images aren't technically loaded, so this should be the next one. But if it's fully zoomed out, then I guess be ready. Okay, it's not perfect.
Mewin door.
Mewin door. I mean, it's just a
Oh.
doorknob. Might not be connected to the door. Could be a wall.
What does that mean?
What if it's just
What's
like a
the
wall with a
unlocking
doorknob?
This one?
It's not
Here.
like there's any opening
Here.
doors in Overwatch.
I'm gonna take one for a team.
Dex.
Circuit.
It is not Circuit.
That was a good guess, to be fair.
Listen, Circuit Royale, it could be in here. It could be lurking. But this one's not Circuit Royale. This
I
one,
think I'm close. I
can
feel.
sit back
I
and
think
just
I might be close, but I'm gonna play it.
play it
safe.
safe and wait for the zoom out. You mean the zoom out right here? Good news,
Wow,
it is
that
connected
changed
to,
everything.
yeah, it's connected to a door,
Oh.
like you were worried about.
Yeah, I was real stressed. I was real stressed about the doorknob connected to a door.
I think
Oh.
based on the puzzled looks, I can just move on to our next image here.
Yes.
So, if I'm not mistaken, it should be this one. Gio.
Esperanza.
It is not Esperanza. Fletch.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't got it. I don't got it.
Take
Wow.
a guess, man.
I was gonna say something like Volskaya, but it's not Volskaya. I'll just throw that one out.
It is not
That's my
Volskaya.
guess. Yeah.
I didn't
What-
really
what is
anticipate
this?
somebody
It-
not getting a point, but I zoomed this all the way out. If I turned around, you'd see the Eiffel Tower because this is Paris.
I haven't been on Paris
Oh.
in.
This is
6
directly
years.
outside of attacker spawn. There's
Yeah,
a
like
nice
that.
little hallway.
Paris was probably the one map ever in this game that anytime I played, I would just, or anytime I would get it, I would just leave. Like Paris is that one map. Every
Where
other
even-
map I'm fine with.
I did
Where
not
even
mind
on
Paris that
Paris?
much. Listen, as well as like Paris when you play it nowadays, if you're in like the little death match or whatever, it brings you to second point. So I figured first point, see if anybody remembers what it looks like, and it seems like the answer was no.
I think my brain's protecting me from mental damage, so it deleted all the
Yeah.
information.
It deleted the it saved you. But I mean, hey, listen, like I said, I didn't encounter the idea of anyone not getting a point, so now we can just technically tie. But we'll have to see who knows what on our next map. Right here.
Too many variables.
You like the corner of metal? I think this one was a good one.
Yeah, the metal's putting me off, but the metal is kind of like giving me a clue.
Well, how about we enhance those clues a little bit better? Give you a bit of a zoom out. With, hang on, make sure I'm grabbing the right one. Not grabbing Paris again. Right here. Fletch.
Watch point.
It is not Watch Point Gibraltar.
Okay.
Oh no.
I see two quizzical minds here, and I'm going to warn you. Well, you know what? I'm not going to warn anything, actually. We'll just let the evidence speak for itself. Dex.
Volskaya.
This is Volskaya Industries. It's a cheeky little corner. I like it. I like it. So
I'm gonna be honest. I almost buzzed in on the first one and just said Midtown.
Midtown immediately.
I was thinking Samoa, but the layout was what wasn't Samoa for me. There was nowhere in Samoa that looked like that. But yeah, Volskaya.
Listen, 2CP, you gotta remember, it's there. It's hiding in the depths, just waiting. But
you got to look for the
not
architecture, the metal. It's very Russian, brutalist.
3, 1, 2. So if I'm not mistaken, we are at 3-2-2.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So 3-2-2. With that being said, this map is up next.
I have concepts of a plan.
I have concepts of a plan, Arthur.
I have theories.
Next.
Next, of course. So we'll just mosey right along, as the kids say. I think this is the right one.
The kids don't.
That
say
is not the right one.
That is
That's
not
That's
the right
what
one at all.
zoomed in. You zoomed in.
Oh wait, no, I did
Man.
these out of order. Yeah, this was number 1. That was the second zoom out. You know, we'll just go to zoom out number
Show us
3.
number 3.
Yeah, number 3.
Oh.
Dex.
Pericio.
This is Paraiso.
How did
I forgot-
You know?
I forgot I took these out of order. That's my bad. Paraiso, I was a little bit frazzled, as they say.
Okay, I'll
That's
say what I
who
was
it
thinking.
is.
Okay.
I was thinking
last one.
Paraiso, but I thought we were zoomed in on the core, like the like core in the spawn, not a building. So I was
Yeah.
right for the
So,
wrong reasons in my brain.
I'm
almost
not
said
gonna
Ivana.
lie. This shot I actually found really interesting because I never knew this was a place you could go and observer cam on Paraiso. This is like right outside of second point. There's like whole bushes and stuff down below here. There's like a whole like scene going on that you just never see because nobody walks over here.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting. All right, well,
There's
there's
a large
only
health pack over there.
yeah, there's a large health pack. This is like the attacker spawn for third point. You're in a very interesting corner.
Yeah.
Well, that means we are down to just one map left. Geo, you could tie it all up, or
Ruined
Dex
everything.
or Fletch could cement a legacy win here, a great one, if you will. We'll have to see if anyone can know it on the first shot.
Alright. Okay.
I'll just go to shot number 2. Listen, like I said, the zoom outs are necessary. It makes me a little less evil. But shot number 2, we've got Dex.
I want to say this is one of the Anudas, so I'm just going to say Temple of Anubis.
I'm gonna help your heart feel at ease. It's neither.
All right.
I'm gonna help you out. No, Geo, you did buzz.
I was really hoping you'd say one of the things I was going to go two maps, and I'm going to go for Esperanza.
It is not Esperanza. So Fletch, you've got the board. All you have to
Great.
do is just know where we are.
Oh,
It's Hanaoka.
You didn't buzz in, so no point. Unlucky.
Wait,
I'll actually be giving it to Geo, so now we're all tied. Yes, quite. No.
I agree with that.
No, I'm kidding. I'm joking, of course. Listen, Fletch, you earned the dub. Absolutely
no,
here by
like
being
that.
patient.
Geo, it's a tie.
Geo, it's a time. Listen, I think this one, I wasn't going to zoom out this far, but I kind of wanted it to be noticeable that it was Hanaoka because these sort of windows, you know, you see them on all of like the Hanamura, the Kanazaka, all of that. So, but yeah, I think this was a fun little time. We guessed some maps. We maybe learned some things. Apparently, what was the one you all missed?
Paris.
Yes. You know, apparently you guys maybe need to take a European vacation. I guess for Geo that would just
Oh,
be a
we didn't.
vacation.
Hey,
No.
we did Brexit. We're
All
not
three of
EU,
us
so.
did.
Oh yeah,
All
technically.
3 of us did.
Yeah, all
recently.
Yeah, so Stockholm again, and we'll do some homework for the rest of the year.
We'll do some homework. We'll get it all sorted out here. But listen, we've got our funny game out of the way. Now we can move on to the serious nature of this. Clearly, we're all very serious. Business. Fletch, you and I were the only ones here last week, and I think you actually wrote some notes down for us to figure out
I did.
who is going to be wrong on some of the matches we talked about. Now, one hasn't technically been played because we're recording this on Sunday. But if I can just quickly find my DMs with Hunter Kane, we can talk about these matches at length here. We have the first match we had talked about, Death Blossom versus BGSU Falcons, and I believe this is NA Masters.
Weapon?
I don't remember what tier this is. I don't know where I am.
What'd you say?
Death
I had to
Blossom
go
versus
find the-
BGSU.
Death Blossom versus
Diamond.
BGSU. Okay.
That is Diamond. So what were the Preds, Fletch? What did you and I have written down?
So you and I went for BGSU as well as Hunter and Vert went with Death Blossom.
Good news. Vert is the only one who is right. That was a 3-0 for Death Blossom.
Okay.
So already Vert, we'll keep stats, as we go through the breakdown. See who can figure out and be the smartest analyst of the season. Maybe they'll get a trophy. That could be fun. Get a little trophy going.
I love a trophy.
Yeah, listen, trophies are nice. Who doesn't like a good trophy, Then we have, if Discord would like to load, there it goes. We have Emperor Gallica versus SCR Esports. Fletch, what were the thoughts on that? What did we have going on?
Can you tell me the full name of the second team again?
SCR Esports.
Okay, yeah, SCR. So me, Hunter, and Vert all went for SCR, and you being the contrarian, that was literally your excuse for picking EMPR. You went with them.
I'm so smart. EMPR won 3-1. I'm the smartest.
All right.
I am great.
Okay.
Look at that. So we've got. This is interesting. And then on the last game, 0907 versus Twisted Minds Orchid.
There were
well,
a
no,
fourth
so
game.
Amplify versus Mental Institution is happening tonight. We physically can't have predicted it yet. We'll get there, probably. But
so for 0907 versus Twisted Minds, Hunter was the only one who went with 0907, and Twisted Minds was you, me, and Vert.
all right, well, Hunter's the only one getting a point. That tragic.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a 3-0.
Wow.
It was a clean stomp. They didn't get a map point in there at all. Kind of unfortunate. But like I said, we'll keep track of it. We still have that Amplify versus Mental Institution. And hey, listen, we've got 2 more people here who can maybe pred on that game. Wouldn't that be interesting, huh? Dex, Geo, what are your thoughts? This happens tonight. Amplify literally competing in OWCS versus a mental institution.
Well, that sounds real difficult to figure out. You know what? I'm gonna be straight and narrow for this one. I need to rack up some points. Amplify are gonna free you.
You're not no more dice, okay?
No more dice.
I mean, here's the thing: Mental Institution. They've been a staple in CGL for a long time, but Amplify is just Amplify. Yeah, they're struggling in OWCS, but they're going up against.
They're in OWCS.
Yeah, yeah, like that's the thing. That's what I was gonna say. They're struggling, but they're playing like the best teams right now.
Mm-hmm.
So CGL for them should honestly be a cakewalk, in my opinion. There's gonna be some tough games, and tonight's game might be one of them. But I think Amplify will still take this one. But I'm gonna say 3-2. I think it goes the distance.
3-2 goes the distance. All right, we can add that to our lovely statistician in the Fletch. Bless you for that sneeze, by the way. Unfortunate. Now week 2 games, they're slowly trickling in. I'm pretty much grabbing these games like here and now in the moment. So maybe we won't have the most interesting matches grabbed just yet, but it will be interesting. Starting off with a week 2 game here in EU Diamond. This one looks fun. You have, I think it's Kira, I don't know how you'd say that team name, versus Professional. Just to give y'all some insight, some statistics if you want. Kira won their first match 3-0 against Aliens at Large, whereas Team Professional...
that was a forfeit.
Oh, it was a forfeit. Okay, well, there you go. Some more information. Versus Professional, who went 3-2, but did secure their first win against VA Mystic Coven. So what are our thoughts? What are our opinions?
I still like Kira the most, simply because I like their logo quite a lot. So I'm going to go with Kira.
Oh, let me actually, you know what? I could be helping, and I could just drop the match links for y'all. I'm so silly.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 3-1 Professional. I think Professional playing a game in this one has a little bit of a better understanding of the ban system with the heroes. I think it's gonna help them out. Kira, I mean, again, it's gonna be difficult to say anything about them considering their first win was a forfeit. I think Professional having gone the distance against who was it? Having gone the distance against, I think it was like VA, Mythic Coven. Yeah, I think having that experience will help him.
Yeah, that's fair. That's reasonable. Geo, or resident European, what are your thoughts?
I know I'm frantically trying to load the teams just in case there's anyone I know. Okay, no one jumps out to me as recognizable. Okay, sorry if you do know me. So I mean, Kira got a 3-0, right, and then Professional, it was a bit closer. Purely just a numbers game. I'm going to lean Kira.
Halt, halt, Geo. That was a forfeit. The game was a
Oh,
forfeit.
it was a
So they
forfeit.
didn't
Okay,
play it
sorry.
at all.
Okay. Oh, well, that's difficult. I'm going to say, Kira might be able to scout Professional based off of that, and off of that information and the hero bands, I'll say Kira will win 3-2. It'll be a close game.
Mega Lass.
Oh, right, I have to predict. Didn't really think about that. You know what? I think while Kira has a really cool logo, Professional, they're just some professionals, you know. They're gonna show up in the business suit, ready to do what needs to be done, and they're just gonna win. I'm gonna give them. Let's go with 3-1. 3-1 sounds fun.
Yeah. Okay. So split here. Me and Mega goes for Professional. You, Geo and Fletch go for Kira.
And listen, we'll have graphics for this at some point. I promise. Hippie's working on it. We just need to yell at him to work hard.
B.
Hippington,
Yeah,
as I like to say.
The team I'm rooting for in Diamond is GGTD. I've got a friend on it,
GGTD.
so.
Hey, look. Hold up. Let me see. Can I find one of their matches? Hang on. I'm zooming. No, I do not see any of their matches scheduled. Tragic. It's fine. We'll get them another time. But speaking of another match that we are going to talk about, we're going to jump over to our South America friends with their console division they've got running. We have... Oh, goodness gracious, why did I pick this team name? I can't pronounce it. Seikakuna Shinigami's V3, who secured a 3-0 versus Hydra Esports, is going up against Storm, who also secured a 3-0 again in their match against, I think it's Os Covardes.
Forfeit for the first one.
Mm-hmm. And forfeit for the second one, probably.
And no, Storm won 3-0. I believe that one was actually streamed.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So, another situation where a team maybe got an undeserving win. What are we thinking here, potentially?
You know
Look
what?
at their logos.
I'm going to go with Storm. Mostly just because I'm going back to what we talked about earlier when we were talking about hero bands and stuff. The team has 11 players. They have the max that you can have. They have incredible depth. So I think that will help them out a lot here. And like I said with my last one, they played a game. They're going to have a little bit of knowledge of how to really work the hero bands. And I just think Storm is one of those teams you're really going to have to watch out for in the South American region.
Okay. I like the thoughts. Fletch?
I'm going to go with Storm because I've been playing her a lot in Rivals.
Sure. Talked more about Rivals than we have Overwatch on this podcast, but hey, that's okay.
That's categorically false.
Listen.
You know what? We spent 45 minutes.
I'm the
talking about
host.
Overwatch.
I can peddle lies as much as I want, okay? Anywho, Gio, what are your thoughts?
Well, Storm might have an army, but Shinigami's have an angel. So with Angel's wings, they will brunt the storm. And I'll say Shinigami's win.
Angel,
3-1.
as they have literally the Grim Reaper as their logo.
Okay, branding might not be their strong suit, but playing the game is, okay?
Technically,
they'll
Grim
win
Reaper
them.
is an angel.
An angel of death, right?
Yeah.
That's true. Listen, come here to kill Storm, potentially, in the game, of course.
Exactly. Bring the sun.
Mega, what about you?
What about me? That's a great question. Like, I want to be the normal person who's just like, yeah, Storm will win this. Storm is very strong, like, we knew coming into South America that they were going to be a strong team. But I don't know. There's something appealing Also, they literally do have a player called Angel on Shinigamis. So, you know what? That's the selling point for me. I'm giving it to Shinigamis. I'm going to say it's a 3-2. It's a battle, but they're going to win it.
Split again on the podcast here.
Split again, indeed. Now, as much as I'd love some NA representation, they refuse to schedule their games. So, we're going to be heading back over to the EU side of things. This time,
There is one in a game scheduled.
for week 2.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, that's just round 1, but they're doing it on the 13th.
Yes, because of some certain things that we'll go over in a little bit. Trust me.
Yep.
But so we'll jump over to the EU Open tier for Shadows Masters team versus Dragons Vanguard. Now, the Shadows Masters team. Are we sure they're not Masters? Are we sure they're in the right space? I'm gonna just drop the match link as well for you. I'll keep forgetting to do that.
Could be the one of them is who high rank and the rest are masters. Maybe there's a player called Shadow who is not masters and the rest are masters.
No,
I mean,
that's not it.
No.
Fun fact: the Shadows Masters team has not played their week 1 game yet. It is, it's marked as a 0-0, so potentially a forfeit there.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Dragons Vanguard did start off with a loss. They lost 1-3 to the Moths.
I think that this team is just called Shadows Masters.
Well, it says Shadows Masters team.
I don't know.
I'm reading what's on the site, and if they want to be wrong,
Geo, this is your representation, man.
I feel so seen. Yeah, Shadows Masters, and then it says Esports Fantasy at the bottom of their logo. They have quite a cool logo. They've got some wings, but obviously Dragons also have wings. Dragons had a loss. I don't know too much about either of these teams just looking at them, but I'm feeling the vibe. I'm feeling the vibes through the internet. I think Shadow Masters probably have this. They have more detail in their logos, so maybe they'll have more detail in the 9 players that they have and the plans that they can have. Harkening back to what Dex has been saying with the bans.
Yeah.
So I'll say a 5-player team versus a 9-player team. Shadows Masters might have a bit more flexibility. I'll say a 3-0.
Yeah, I'm right there with Geo. I'm not going to say a 3-0. I'm going to say 3-1. I think Dragons Vanguard is going to lose 3-1 again here.
I'm gonna go with Dragon. I think.
okay.
I actually quite like the more simple logo, so that's what I'm going off of because I don't know anything about these teams.
Mm-hmm.
One of them hasn't played yet, and I haven't watched the other one play, so I have very very little to go off of. So I'm gonna go with Dragon.
All right. Well, that's nice. You know, I'd love to join you there. However, I don't make wrong predictions. Never, ever. I've only ever predicted correctly. So I will be going with Shadows Masters team. Simply because I am always right. And you can put a stamp on that. And don't ever fact check it. Because I'm just right. Smile.
Okay, so to fact check
okay.
that, you picked BGSU just last week.
So
as
anyway,
well as
Fletch will now be
Physical
muted for the remainder of the episode. All right. I unironically did mute it for a
I've
second.
said Moth's team, the team the Dragon Vanguards lost 3-1 to, and they have like Hitori and Zoro. They've got like actually like well-known players, and now I'm thinking Dragons Vanguard. If they took a map from that team, maybe I made the wrong call, but I'm gonna stick to my gut.
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
going to stick with my gut.
Listen, the gut is always right. Probably. And when it's not, you blame somebody else. But that combined with the Amplify game, that's 4 games for us. I think that'll be some nice preds heading into the future here. But as we're winding things down, you know, it wouldn't be a time here on the breakdown if we didn't get to hoist our glorious king and announce somebody as the Headrunner Player of the Week. You know, it's just that important. Ignore the image. That's not the player. That's not who won.
Yes, Geo, you're our player of the week.
Geo is the player.
Yes.
Found him.
Who'd have guessed?
You know, Headrammer Player of the Week. Now, do we have any thoughts, maybe any guesses as to who our player could be?
Honestly,
I
don't
saw
know.
Yeah, last week I accidentally leaked it. You know, Luca was on screen, but now you don't know. Now you
It
have
could
no
even
idea.
it could even be Headrammer, right? Technically.
It could be.
Yeah.
He was going crazy on the
No,
on.
yeah, he did play really well last night, but I don't know where Mega's going to go with this. If it's going to be based off someone's performance in a game, or if it's going to be like last week where it was much a joke intended at Fletcher's expense.
I mean, listen, if a Hanzo player got traded to the Lakers, that had to be covered. You know, maybe LeBron needed somebody else for his 5-stack, as they say. But no, it's a shame actually, because LeBron, even if he plays Overwatch, he wouldn't have been able to play this week because his PlayStation Network just wasn't working, and that's why at the Console Gaming League we'd like to give the PlayStation Network Player of the Week, because some of the round 1 games are now delayed into week 2 because the PlayStation Network was down for its second longest ever outage.
Why are you not giving it to Xbox Live, considering that they didn't go down?
Well, no. Listen, you have to acknowledge the bad, right? You have to give, like, it's their second longest ever outage, not their first, right? So you got to give them credit for that. You gotta absolutely prop them up and let them know
Listen,
that they did great.
this is another fucking shot at me. I think, man.
I'm keeping a swear
Yeah.
jar. So Dex is at 2 right now. Fletch is at 1.
No, I said no. I only did it once.
No,
you said it too.
Oh.
Twice.
We're gonna get a
That-
swear
that's
jar,
my
and that's
bad.
how we're gonna fund the
That's-
playoffs.
That's my fault, G. But another time at me, man.
Wait, you
We're
play
not
on
gonna act-
PlayStation?
Yes.
I thought you played on Switch. I thought that's why you were so bad.
Oh my god.
I got some words for you after this.
Oh yeah.
But nah, like
Swear jar space, man.
we're not about to act like Xbox has never had problems, right? Like
I mean, listen,
we're not about to pretend that Microsoft
has
is
Xbox ever
infallible.
delayed CGL matches by a week? I don't
Almost
think so.
certainly.
I don't think so.
Almost certainly.
Listen, if it happened, I wasn't there, so it didn't technically happen because I didn't see it. You know what I mean?
Did you see that GameStop tweeted, I bet you wish you had hard copies of the games now? I like that response.
Yeah, somebody should go back to shorting their stock. That was funny.
That is not financial advice.
We do not offer financial advice.
Offer financial advice here on the Breakdown podcast.
We offer
hosted-
predictions advice. We are always right, though. You should follow our predictions for our CGL matches, because guess what? We're smart.
Yep.
Yes, that's the other podcast, the Profit Breakdown, where we talk about
The
investment
profit
tactics.
breakdown.
There's already enough of those.
April
Can we make a
Fools.
CGL
That's a
crypto coin.
Yeah, April Fools. Hold up, I'm talking to Headrammer on that. I'm writing that down. But with that being said, we've been here honestly a lot longer than I thought we would be. I thought this was gonna be a short episode, but it seems like we got some yappers here. Of course, got to give thanks to everyone for showing up and being here. Even Fletch for being a little bit late, but you know we love him just
I
the same.
wasn't supposed to be here.
You weren't. You were on the Wendy meeting. He's checking now. He's
I feel
checking.
like me and Dex are watching like a battle.
Yeah, no, here's the thing. The person that wasn't supposed to be here was me.
Hey, listen, but the point being, people were here, and, you know, it's always fun to get to chat. And hey, listen, you know, like we said last time, if there's anybody you want us to, like, yell at to try to get onto the podcast, because I have to yell sometimes, because people like to change their availability on me last second. Last week it was Spectrion, this week it was Huntertane. I love those guys, but let's not drive me crazy. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week to break it all down, give you all the action. But until next time, we're just out of here. Bye-bye. Why are you so super?